This final table wasn't just brutal.
Oh, and there's a king
It looked cursed.
Oh, and there is the king!
9 players sit down at the final table, but only one walks away a champion. At the 2009 main event, it's not about the money anymore. Even with $8.5 million on the line, every player is here to make history. What you're about to see is a masterclass in poker cruelty, where dreams get shattered, fortunes evaporate, and the road to history turns into a nightmare. This wasn't your typical final table. You had pros like Phil Ivey fighting for his 8th bracelet and to claim the title of greatest poker player in the world. And then you had complete amateurs like Darvin Moon, the biggest chip stack at the table and one of the most unlikely players to ever make it this far. The stage was set for the most insane action in years.
Children, already poker savvy and his harshest critics, his 11-year-old son Aaron told him he wouldn't make it past day 1.
Steve said that was a big motivator for him.
I call.
He makes the call, so James Aikenhead is at risk, and his cheering section on pins and needles. 2008 November Nighter Elon Schwartz has been advising Begleiter recently. Steve's dad and wife are here also. So now the second biggest stack, Eric Buckman. Looks down at Ace-King.
Buckman didn't get a coach and decided to play less poker during the break. He said, practicing against strangers is not going to help me against these folks.
Eric Buckman puts out a re-raise to $12.1 million, turning up the heat on Begleiter.
And with Buckman's re-raise, Aikenhead has to know he's in big trouble. If British poker fans are anything like soccer fans, I wouldn't want to be the guy to knock out Aikenhead.
Buckman's brother and parents watching this drama unfold. Action back to Begleiter now.
Begleiter with the best hand, but is he willing to risk a chunk of his chips with pocket 10s?
He is not. He lays it down. So Aikenhead against Buckman, King-Queen against Ace-King.
Buckman has Aikenhead dominated. Aikenhead is all in.
Begleiter sees now he had the best of it pre-flop.
I need a queen. King-Queen, King-Queen.
Aikenhead finished 9th at the World Series Europe, trying to avoid that fate here.
The English always love the queen.
Aikenhead at risk, a 3-1 dog to Eric Buckman. Now the flop with our first November Niner at risk. It is deuce, trade, jack. Nothing in there for Aikenhead.
Good news for Eric Buckman. He's in a much more dominant position. Aikenhead now will need runner for a straight or that queen to stick around.
Turn card is a king that pairs both, and Aikenhead down to perhaps his last card.
That king makes no difference to Aikenhead. He still needs a queen.
No card here. No queen.
Buckman's family hoping for anything but a queen. Aikenhead came here as the short stack. He and his mates hoping he can survive and triple up.
Aikenhead needs a queen or he is wamboozled.
The river card. Oh, it's the queen! Aikenhead triples up.
If you know this channel, you know it gets worse than that. And if you're into this kind of poker chaos, hit subscribe, because the next hand is the kind that makes the game feel evil. A player does everything right, gets it in good, and poker still punishes him.
I call.
He does make the call.
I call.
And Buckman hates to see the aces.
Aces, king.
The Schaffel crowd loves this matchup. The Buckman family not so happy.
Eric Buckman stands to lose half his stack here, and Kevin Schaffel is poised to move up to second on the leaderboard.
All right, here's the flop. Oh, and there's a king for Eric Buckman.
And Kevin Schaffel just went from the best of hands to the worst of luck.
Schaffel's ace is now looking for a lifeline. Buckman looking for the knockout.
Schaffel can still make a straight with a 10, or he needs an ace. Otherwise, he will be gone.
Schaffel understands just how thin he's drawing. The turn card. Oh, another king! And the quads for Buckman. Knockout Kevin Schaffel in 8th place.
Even after what we've seen so far, nothing could prepare the poker world for what was about to happen next. Phil Ivey had won some smaller pots, but he was still one of the short stacks at the table. He had to make a move. The only problem? Darvin Moon was in his way. and he was determined to eliminate anyone who challenged him.
Darvin takes a big swallow. He looks more nervous than Ivy, who has all his chips in the middle.
Well, Phil needs a double up, so I don't think he'd mind hearing ace-queen come on in.
I call.
A call from Darvin Moon to put Phil at risk, but Ivy with the better hand and a chance to double through one of the big stacks. Crowd certainly behind Phil Ivy here.
Lucky apple.
Darvin's family hoping that it's a rotten apple. Darvin has always said these guys can outplay him, so with all the chips in pre-flop, that might be his best chance against the likes of Phil Ivy.
Even if Ivy doubles up, he would still be one of the short stacks, but it would be a move in the right direction. Top poker pros hoping one of their own can hang on.
We're all cheering for a king.
Well, we know Phil is cheering for a king, and I can only assume Darvin is looking for a queen.
Yeah, that queen would put a hurt on Phil.
Good hand. Good hand. Good luck.
Good hand? You said good hand.
It's a good hand. Better than mine, isn't it?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
They're pretty friendly foes.
I'm sorry, Lon, I have to. Ivy, Ivy, Ivy.
All right, Ivy at risk with his ace-king against the ace-queen of Darvin Moon. This entire theater on their feet, anxiously awaiting this flop. Phil Ivy all in. Here's the flop. Oh, and there's a queen! And that sends a dagger through the hopes of Phil Ivy.
My goodness. We're going to need a medic to the broadcast booth.
Not many are celebrating that queen, but the Moons certainly are.
How do they put right in the window?
Mike the Mouth just read my mind. In 2003, everyman Chris Moneymaker took out Ivy with ace-queen. Now, 6 years later, another everyman, Darvin Moon, is poised to take out Ivy with ace-queen again.
All right, the turn card now. Ivy needing help. The tray of clubs is no help.
Close.
He still has a sense of humor.
Phil possibly in the middle of his main event demise. He takes it matter-of-factly. If it has to be anyone, I guess I'm glad it's Darvin Moon who's doing the deed.
Phil Ivy staring elimination right in the face.
Ivy needs a king and a king only, or his 2009 main event is over.
River card is a 5, and that will do it. Phil Ivy eliminated in 7th place from this 2009 main event.
Darvin.
After that hand, the most dangerous player at the table was gone, and suddenly, Darvin Moon looked untouchable, dominating the table and doing it in the most disgusting ways imaginable.
Darvin looks down at ace-queen again. He just knocked off Ivy with ace-queen.
I'm all in.
And he re-raises all in.
And this would push Steve Beglighter all in. Ace-queen is trouble, but Darvin likes the traffic in trouble.
Wendy Moon seems worn out from all these tense moments her husband's putting her through.
Beglighter's got to be feeling a little pressure now.
I call.
He does make the call all in with his 2 queens, and he'll find himself ahead, but not out of the woods.
Darvin Moon keeps telling us he can't outplay the other guys. He has been in a pre-flop gamble and push mode this entire final table.
Steve Beglighter asking for help from his troops.
A showdown between the 2 true amateurs left in the main event.
Steve Beglighter trying to double up through Darvin Moon.
Rural Maryland doesn't cheer quite as loudly as the New York big city types.
All right, here we go to the flop. Beglighter at risk. 7, 4, 8. No danger for Beglighter in that flop.
Now my pulse is up.
Darvin doesn't have a pulse.
Turn card is a trade, no help to Moon. Beglighter poised to become a bigger force at this table.
Darvin hit a 3-outer to topple Ivy. Now looking for another 3-outer to topple Beglighter. Darvin needs an ace and an ace only to knock out Steve Beglighter.
And the river card. Oh, it's an ace! Another Darvin Moon special!
It's Darvin Moon's woo.
But the brutal beats didn't stop there. This time, it was Joe Cotta, the 21-year-old chasing history to become the youngest player to ever win a main event. And at this final table, being ahead meant nothing. The poker gods were rewarding the bad plays and punishing anyone who did it right.
Ray's in front of him.
All in.
And he shoves all in. Over 11 million.
Well, there's a good chance he's about to be crushed with those pocket threes.
Saud gave it up. Jeff asking for a count. Shulman would need almost 10 million to make this call and put Kata at risk.
Jeff has picked his spots very carefully.
11.
And he needs to chip up.
Call.
Shulman makes the call, and the two short stacks will tangle. The three other players over 50 million chips, these two under 20 million, so both trying to make some noise and chip up.
And Joe Kata's youngest ever bid now in dire straits.
The Shulman camp likes what they see with the jacks against the trays.
2, 4, 5 to make it interesting.
I don't want interesting.
That's pretty much my motto in life.
How about Jack?
How about Jack 3, 3?
Jack on the turn.
I didn't know you could negotiate the board.
I'm greedy.
Me too.
Shulman's pocket jacks, a 4-1 favorite to knock out Joe Kata with his pocket trays. And here's the flop. Oh, and there's a tray for Kata to turn the tables on Jeff Shulman.
Kata tearing a page out of Darvin Moon's suck-out book. And oh, look, Coach Helmuth with a silent pep talk for Jeff Shulman.
Jeff facing a crippling defeat here at the hands of young Joe Kata.
The kid with a dream is living a fantasy at this final table.
Turn card is a 7, no help to Jeff Shulman. Kata still good with his set.
And Jack?
Jeff pleading with the dealer.
Helmuth with no game plan here.
I can't watch. I feel like I will cards.
Be a man and watch. Only a river jack now will send Joe Kata home.
The river card is a queen. Another double up for the 21-year-old who's over 23 million now.
Now I know what you're thinking. This is just poker, right? These sorts of bad beats happen 20% of the time. It's part of the game. But if it only happens 20% of the time, how do you explain these?
$750 million. Back to young Joe Kata.
Come on.
And he moves all in.
And this would be for half of Antoine's stack. He wants to take a deep breath and make sure he hasn't run into aces or kings.
Carter.
Antoine does make the call to put Kata at risk. And an embarrassed Joe Kata shows his deuces, and Kata in big trouble.
I'm surprised Joe Kata pushed there, Lon. He had 40 big blinds left and just misread the strength of Saud's hand.
Kata has put his fans through the ringer here tonight. If Saud can hang on, he'll own almost 120 million chips.
Saud began this hand with 80 million and the chip lead. Kata will have 80 million and the chip lead if he gets lucky.
Darvin hoping Kata doesn't get lucky so he can be heads up. Here's the flop. Oh! A deuce for Kata. He gets the set.
Unbelievable for Joe Kata.
He did it to Jeff Shulman and now does it to Saud.
You don't want the best hand here, you want the best luck.
Wow, Joe Kata now in dominating positions. He's a tray on the turn. He keeps the lead.
It seems like Joe Kata should be 100 miles away now with no chips. He keeps coming back, and now he's about to become the chip leader.
Saud now the one looking for a miracle. Darvin thinking heads up, may have to wait.
Kata needs to dodge a queen to double up.
River card is a 6, and yet another big double up for Joe Kata, and with that one comes the chip lead.
Who's been through 12 tough rounds.
Raised to $2.5 million to Saud now. With a pocket pair, he's got a couple of 8s.
And Antoine seems a bit more weathered than Joe Kata. Understandable, considering the blow he just took.
Saud moves all in for his final $46.5 million. Now to Darvin Moon, who's been such a big participant in so many huge hands, but he'll sit this one out. So the raise back to Joe Kata. Does he want to put more than half his stack at risk with the ace-king?
Well, he just picked up these chips.
Call.
And he will put him to work. Saud at risk, but ahead with the pocket pair.
Saud again ahead of Joe Kata, and he's going to have to win this race to keep his main event alive.
For Kata to knock out Saud, he'll have to come from behind again.
This is for the tournament. This is for the tournament.
$94 million in the pot. Darvin nonchalant. They're not his chips. But a defining main event moment, whoever wins could be headed to Titletown. Whoever loses could be headed to Palookaville.
The respective cheering sections get behind their guys in this huge hand. Kata looking to pair up.
You gotta win it.
Saud knows the best hand guarantees little at this final table.
Now the flop. 5-4-5, no immediate help for Kata. And that quiets down Kata Town. Saud in good shape to double up and retake the chip lead.
Saud hoping it stays clean on the turn in the river, and he will have his chip lead back.
Turn card is a 10. The pocket eights are still best for Antoine Saud.
Saud now a 6-1 favorite to double up.
Long, grueling main event experience for both these players hinges on this river card. Darvin doesn't look like a guy one card from heads up.
Joe Kata's got to figure his luck's going to run out sooner or later. Kata to knock out Antoine Saud needs an ace or a king.
And now the river card. That did not just happen. Joe Kata did it again.
I just saw it. I don't believe it.
Up to this point, almost no one could believe what they were watching, but now it was about to get even crazier. We were down to the final two, Joe Kata and Darvin Moon, two players who couldn't seem to lose no matter what they did. So what happens when you only have the two unstoppable forces at the same table?
Real interesting, real quick.
Moon just calls with his pocket queens for $2.5 million. Here's the flop. Trey, king, deuce, that misses both. Moon's queens are way ahead. Joe first to act.
3.5.
That's $3.5 million.
Darvin not only has virtually no heads-up experience, he's never read a single poker book. Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
$10 million now, the raise from Darvin Moon.
Darvin not worried by the king. Frankly, I don't think Darvin is worried by anything these days.
Back to Joe Kata now. He has to wonder if Darvin has that king. But he'll make the call for $6.5 million. So a $27 million chip pot. The turn card is an ace, another overcard to both pocket pairs.
Yeah, that ace might stop either one in their tracks.
Kata does check. Does Darvin Moon know how to slow down? He's reaching for chips. The ace does not slow him down. That's $10 million.
Darvin says, I think I'm best, and if I'm not, I should hear from you now, Joe Kata, if you've got a king or an ace.
I don't think Joe Kata's going anywhere with his pocket nines, and he does make the call. Joe's mom, Ann, looking very anxious.
That call's gotta worry Darvin, even if he doesn't worry.
All right, we're going to see a river card. It's another king. Darvin Moon with the check mark. Kings and queens. Kata checks again.
Check.
And Darvin checks. Moon shows his two queens.
Kings and queens.
I love how Darvin doesn't wait for his opponent to show. He just turns his cards up.
And Moon will win that hand with a better two pair. A huge pot to kick off this heads up. There is so much at stake right now.
It looked like the end was near. Darvin Moon was sitting on nearly 70% of the chips in play. A dominant lead. But remember how he got here? Was it sheer luck? And the biggest question was, could luck finish the job?
$1 million more as he tries to put the young Joe Kata away. The flop is 10-5-9. Kata hits a pair of nines. Moon an up and down straight draw. Darvin checks. Joe checks middle pair. Turn card now is another 10. Kata still ahead.
We've seen the same pattern from Joe Kata. I think he keeps trying to get Darvin to be overly aggressive.
Darvin's just going to check it. Well, Joe, will he bet it this time? And he does. $3 million.
He sat on his hand on the flop, decides to pull the trigger here.
Darvin, giving this some thought.
I'm all in.
Moves all in. That's enough to put Kata all in.
Wow. Kata says Darvin plays ABC poker. Darvin reaching deeper into the alphabet here, asking Joe Kata if he's willing to risk his main event right now. If I'm Joe Kata, I'd have a hard time believing Darvin has a 10 in his hand making that raise. But then again, this is for everything.
I call.
Kata makes the call. What a read by the young gun. And this puts Joe Kata in position to retake control of this matchup.
With just middle pair, Joe Kata makes the tough call, and what a call it was.
Darvin Moon's over-aggressive play may be handing the reins back to Joe Kata, but if Moon can hit the river, he will be the most unlikely world champion ever. We have seen both of these players catch cards at this final table. Right now, Joe Kata needs to dodge danger to survive.
Darvin's still got 7 outs to complete his improbable journey. With a jack or a 6 on the river, Darvin Moon will be the main event champion.
The river card is a tray. Joe Kata doubles up.
Joe Kata with the call of his life.
Then it seemed like Joe Kata had flipped the script with one brilliant play. What happened next cemented this final table in poker history forever.
This entire final table in his aggression.
Joe needs 5 to call.
Small one.
Now Kata is the aggressor, trying to put Darvin Moon all in.
And now it's Darvin's moment of truth. Is he willing to risk it all here?
Call.
And Darvin makes the call with his suited Queen Jack.
Wow, Darvin plays by different rules, and he makes that all-in call for $64 million.
So here we go, Joe Kata on the precipice of becoming the youngest world champion ever.
Phil Hellmuth's record as youngest main event champ stood for 19 years. Peter Eastgate's record could be wiped out in 1.
And here is the flop. 8-7. That is a good flop for Joe Kata.
Darvin takes it in stoically. Kata can't look.
Relax.
I'm relaxed.
That chant has gotten Kata through so many difficult moments. And now the turn card. It's a king. That's the only paint Darvin doesn't have.
Main event champion of the world.
On day 3, Kata jokingly told Peter Eastgate he would break his record. Now he's 1 card away from doing it. Darvin Moon needs a queen or a jack, or Joe Kata will be the main event champ.
And that's 7